Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Relatively Gaming Podcast, the show where we talk some gaming news, what we've been playing, go through our dreaded mystery section, and see what we're looking forward to playing in the future. If you like what you hear, you can help us out by doing three things. Number one, liking the episode. 2, subscribing to the channel, whether it's YouTube or Spotify, so you don't miss an episode when it drops Mondays at 12 noon Eastern. And number 3, share the podcast with someone you think would enjoy the show. Also, if there's ever a topic of discussion, news piece, whatever you'd like for us to cover, leave it down in the comments section down below, and we'll try our best to follow up on it in a future episode. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and I'm joined, let's see if I point the right way, hell yeah I did, with my fantastic, splendiferous, awesome, amazing, supportive, just all-around good guy co-host, the excellent TJ at Turn-Based TJ. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Now I know how that feels. That is a good feeling. But yeah, I'm doing great. It is officially 6 days, I believe, since Marvel Tokon is released, and I've put 60 hours into it. So
Nice.
if we do some quick math here, that's about 10 hours a day, and I have a job, so I don't know what's going on there. But really been enjoying Marvel Tokon. Got peeled away from it just to do this podcast, but I'm excited to be here nonetheless.
Good. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm excited to be here, too. I mean, viewers, you're probably not going to notice too much. Maybe. I don't know. But this is the last time, technically as of this podcast recording, I'm not in this place, an apartment anymore. I'm going to be somewhere new. So enjoy this background while it lasts. It'll probably be similar, but not exactly the same. I got more space. Hell yeah. Anywho, let's jump on into the news, because there be a plenty. TJ, what do you got for news for us this week?
All I gotta say is, in your new podcast studio space, you better utilize that space to have a giant Loki staff or something like something crazy in the background.
I got to go back to Disney for that. It's waiting at Epcot for me.
Or one of my favorite streamers has a Tifa sex doll in the
Oh,
background.
Jesus
so,
Christ. Yeah, totally.
I'm just saying you have options.
Sure.
You can go
One end, the other end. Spectrum.
We are playing through Final Fantasy VII right now. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, on to the news, on to relevant stuff. We've been talking about Marvel Tokon already without even getting into the podcast, so I'll go on to the Marvel Tokon news, which is that Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls leaks 8 new characters. While Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls has a roster of over 20 playable characters, that number may soon go up. According to leaks posted on Twitter by Socio Daddy, X-Men, and XOX Leak, it's always funny when I have to read the leakers' names.
Yeah.
Information about 8 additional playable fighters was discovered within the game's code. These fighters are stated to be Gambit, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Wasp, and the Fantastic Four, consisting of the Thing, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, and Human Torch. Additionally, Sociodad X-Men pointed out another file that showed potential character swap interactions when Loki is on the same team as either Gambit or the Thing. Though this information was found in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls game code, rumors about unreleased fighters should be still taken with a fine grain of salt. So that is pretty interesting, especially because they've already announced Phoenix Cyclops, and this is 8 characters. And I'm assuming that they're doing teams of 4 because the first year of DLC characters is 4 characters. So you would think that it would be 7 characters leaked to make 8 and make the full roster. So this is a little bizarre. What do you think about that? Are you excited about any of these characters? Do you think this has any validity to it?
I don't know. I saw this news piece going around today as well. I hadn't looked into who was leaked because I was kind of like, well, if it is true, I kind of want to keep it close to the vest.
Whoops, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine, you're fine. Knowing my goldfish brain, I'll forget. So, yeah, all those characters sound really interesting. I do agree with you of, like, how does it tie in? From someone who's only played one of the episodes in the story mode, they do explain a significance for the Fantastic Four being there, or at least being announced or connected, whatever you want to call it. So that I would be like, okay, that makes sense. It might be a little boring from a player's perspective of like if it's those 4 across, let's say year 2 DLC or year 3, while all characters are great individually. I know someone like me, it's like, all right, yep, just waiting for the next Fantastic Four person to show up instead of like they're all here. So That would be my only hesitation from a fan standpoint. In terms of validity, once again, Fantastic Four, I can see why they make sense. The other ones, you said Gambit, Daredevil, Wasp, and I'm sorry, who was the fourth one?
Dr. Lestrange.
Dr. Lestrange, thank you. Yeah, all very interesting characters. We've had Doctor Strange in Ultimate Marvel. Wasp, we have not had playable in anything. Gambit obviously has more old school Marvel vs. Capcom lore. And Daredevil would also be brand new, if I'm not mistaken.
He would be, yeah.
I know he's made an appearance in, like, Marvel vs. Capcom, like, the individual stories or, like, the comic panels post beating the game and stuff. But in terms of him being a playable character, this will be new. So, I mean, all of those sound intriguing to me. Wasp with the size changing would be interesting. I know across the pond over in Injustice 2, we did have the Atom as a DLC character, and that played pretty well in my opinion, so maybe it would just be something similar to that. So yeah, interesting. I'd like to see some of them. I don't know if I'd be the most excited about all of them, but that is another fantastic point that you brought up. Haha, no pun intended. That it's 8 and not 3 or something or 7 to include Phoenix Cyclops. So I wonder if this is like a year 2, year 3 plans for DLC. If so, how is the leaker able to find that but not year 1, if that makes sense, you know?
Right, yeah, no, absolutely. I'm still I'm hoping that this leak is fake actually.
Sure.
Although I would really like to play as Gambit in this game because I think so far the characterization they've done in Marvel Tokon for every character is incredible.
Yeah.
Even someone as basic, I say basic, but as basic as like Captain America, he looks cool. They gave him a jacket and like you can throw his shield around and you can do a bunch of crazy cool combo stuff with him. So like every single character is given a lot of attention to detail and love in this game. So seeing Gambit with that would be incredible. Same thing with Doctor Strange and stuff, but I don't know. I just think I'm really hell bent on them doing the Cosmic team with Phoenix Cyclops or another villains team because Phoenix Cyclops is a villain. He was one of the Marvel's greatest villains in my opinion for a little while. So they could do a second villains team, which would be pretty cool as well. But I think either of those would be way more interesting than just being like, okay, here's the Fantastic Four, which I do want to see the Fantastic Four. And the way that they've done characters like the Black Panther, for example, where she has the Dora Milaje spear and she has Shuri gadgets and she has the Black Panther abilities. I think they could put a fun spin on the Fantastic Four. I think like a Human Torch or something could be really interesting what they do with him. Even Invisible Woman because she can do some crazy stuff in the comics, like make boxes and stuff. I don't know. She can do crazy stuff. So it would be interesting to see what they could do with it. But I still don't think it would be as interesting as like a Cosmic team or something. Because yeah, you're right. I kind of want it to be like Super Smash Brothers, where every announcement is like a big pop off, and people go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this character's in the game!" What? And then they return to the game for a month or whatever, and then they get distracted by whatever Gears of War, Judgment Day, or whatever's coming out next. Yeah, yeah, I'm excited, but like I said, yeah, I just hope it's fake. I hope that they go a different route.
Yeah, could just be like because people are obviously talking about Tokon now. Someone tried to take advantage of it and it got steam on Reddit or wherever else and now everybody's talking about it type thing, but we'll have to see. Time will tell. I would hope if that was the case that maybe they have to show their hand and like, hey, this is the rest of season 1's DLC, because right now, like you said, we only know Phoenix Cyclops. We know nothing else in that first year. So maybe Tokon, if this gets too much traction, has to go, hey, no, here's the other 3 DLC characters. Sorry, bye. I don't know. If they even need to do that, if they need to fold or just kind of be like, that's stupid. Carry on.
No, I think they'll carry on because the next they did release the release windows for the characters, and the second character is not even going to come out until 2027. So at this point, it's like, just stay the course. Focus on Phoenix Cyclops when he comes out. That'll be a big deal, and then you can do a big reveal post Christmas or whatever for the next character into the new year and get everyone excited for the game again.
Yeah, probably. I mean, timing wise, you think like Game Awards would be when they reveal the next episode. God dang it, next character.
That'd be cool. Yeah, if they have a really cool character that I think if it's not a really cool character, I could see it flopping and being
Hmm.
kind of like, oh, okay, cool. The thing is in the game. Ooh, but I hope it would be like a really interesting character. That would
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of
pop
where
off.
Tokon was revealed. Oh, Tokon was revealed as State of Play, I think. So maybe because it's PlayStation specific, they would hold that close to the vest. But who knows? Just the
Sure.
timing of it could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I did drop Gears of War Emergence Day or E Day or whatever. Did I call it Judgment Day
You
earlier?
did,
I'm
but
so
that's fine.
sorry. I, it's a Terminator game now. No, but speaking of that though, to celebrate the launch of the Xbox console exclusive Gears of War E Day, Microsoft is releasing two gorgeous limited edition controllers based on the game. While one of them, the Xbox Design Lab variant, will become purchasable on September 30th, pre-orders began on August 12th, and if you have a chance to look at these controllers, give them a good look. See, they're pretty cool. They're pretty sick. And being a PC player, I do use an Xbox controller for 90% of my gaming, so I kind of want this. Honestly, I was looking at this, I was like, "That's kind of sick," but
Hmm.
I don't want it as much as this next specific skinned console, which is Marvel's Wolverine launches on September 15th, and PlayStation will release a dedicated console bundle that same day. Uh, Priced at $649.99, the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition Marvel's Wolverine Battle Yellow Limited Edition bundle features a yellow and black console design, claw marks, and an image of the Marvel hero. The system will also be accompanied by digital code for Marvel's Wolverine, alongside a DualSense controller with a similar color scheme and claw mark design. The controller will also be sold individually, and both the DualSense and console bundle will be offered at retailers and through PlayStation Direct. Existing PS5 owners will have the option of buying console covers in either yellow and black or an adamantium silver through PlayStation Direct. An adamantium silver DualSense will also be a PlayStation Direct exclusive. So that is pretty cool. I saw the adamantium silver version. It is pretty cool. It's like the adult version, but I want the yellow I want the yellow Wolverine version for sure. Um, it's very cool. It's very tempting, honestly. I'm like, I kind of want this. It's pretty. I'm playing with Wolverine a lot in Marvel Tokon, so now I'm like, oh, I kind of really want to play as Wolverine in his own game. I really enjoyed. I said when I was in the hospital, I was reading Wolverine comic books, solo stuff. So like, I just really enjoy his character, his characterization, and his solo adventures and stuff. So I don't know. I'll be watching your stream very closely, at the very least. But yeah, another reason that I might want to get a PlayStation 5 though is that brand new Ghost of Yotei DLC and Special Edition officially confirmed for October 1st. The newly announced complete edition of the hit open world game will include two big additions, Echoes of Sakigahara and Most Wanted. The former will expand Ghost of Yotei's story, while the latter is a new single-player survival mode centering on repeatable combat runs. The DLC is scheduled for release on October 1st, 2026, with Sony confirming the complete edition of Atsu's adventure will also debut on the same day. Um, yeah, sorry, I emphasize the repeatable combat runs mode because it's like that sounds so freaking cool. That's exactly what I wanted in Ghost of Tsushima, because I just wanted more combat. Although, luckily in that game, a New Game Plus, I don't know if it's in the regular game as well, but I know in New Game Plus you can actually like replay fort missions and stuff. Like bases, you can just
Gotcha.
basically reload them like you didn't clear them out and clear them out again, which is fun. But then, like I became familiar with the bases and stuff, so it'd be cool if it was like this, where it was repeatable combat run content. It sounds almost like it has some roguelike elements to it, perhaps.
Hmm.
Who knows? We'll have to see. It's very cool. It makes me very angry because it's like they're making a version of the game that I want to play more than, and I already wanted to play the game. So
Yeah, if I may interject, because I also had the same story, and I can confirm a little bit of what you're speculating on.
sure.
This is from Tech Radar and Dashiell Woods. Later on, she mentions, coming from Andrew Goldfarb, former of IGN, but now the senior communications manager at developer Sucker Punch Studios, described this as the studio's spin on a roguelike in the new PlayStation blog post. So you get your confirmation there. You'll accept bounties in order to start new runs, where taking down enemies will earn you perks, as well as unlock additional characters to play, as he wrote and then teased there will be more to show soon.
Additional characters to play as too? What? I need this game in my life.
Yeah. So there's one little tiny caveat that I've also added in here, just as a little bit of a alongside these two new arrivals, the Ghost of Yotei Complete Edition contains all the content previously part of the Digital Deluxe Edition. It will cost just $69.99, which is the same price as the Standard Edition cost at launch, and $10 cheaper than the Digital Deluxe version was. There is, however, a big catch. If you already own a Ghost of if I can read, if you already own a copy of Ghost of Yotei, aka me, existing owners will have to splash out $14.99 to upgrade their copy to the Complete Edition version, which is pretty egregious in my eyes, especially for Digital Deluxe buyers. Those players will be parting with a total of $94.98 to experience what everyone who waited 1 year can now get for $70. So yeah, that's a little bit of a slap in the face. Hopefully they fix that. But outside of the price baloney, cool news. I agree.
Yeah, that sucks. They're like, what are they, a cell phone carrier? They're like nice to new customers and mean to existing customers? What is this?
Yeah, odd choice.
Yeah, very odd choice. But, wow, it is confirmed to be a roguelike. I'm seriously, because there's at least a holy trinity of games now. You got Wolverine, you got Ghost of Yotei, and you got NHL 27. I don't know if they released 27
Marvel
yet.
Tokon right in the middle here.
I already have that on PC. And that's another piece of news that I guess I'll throw in here.
Oh.
I don't have this written down, but this is just right off the dome. Marvel Tokon had a patch, a PC patch, and it fixed most of the PC woes of the game, including not just matchmaking and stuttering, which they actually found the issue was an audio issue. The audio kept trying to I don't know, it kept doing something. I'm not very smart when it comes to that kind of thing, but it kept flagging something that caused the game to hitch a little bit, and they were able to fix that entirely. And then on top of that, they also fixed the team issue that I was having where it would erase your teams.
Oh,
It
yeah.
no longer does that, which is great because I have 4 teams saved now, and it's awesome. One of them is the new Avengers, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, and Wolverine, and it's great. And they're all in their classic costumes.
Nice.
It's fantastic. And then also, the game actually closes now. When I close the game, I don't have to force quit Steam to get the game to close, which is what I was having to do for like 5 days straight. So now the game actually just closes. So if I want to switch between Tokon and Marvel Rivals, I can do that without having to close Steam out entirely and then reopen it again, which is part of the reason why sometimes I would leave Tokon on for a little while because I didn't want to have to do that. But yeah, so the PC patch was pretty great. Pretty unanimously praised across the PC gaming community for fixing almost all of the stuttering issues. Some people are still having matchmaking issues, but that's a different story entirely. So at least the performance issues are a lot better. And I hear the performance on PlayStation is just singing. It's just running fantastic. Yeah.
Sure is.
Well, Marvel is a property owned by Disney.
Nice.
And Disney used to have a man named Bob Iger at the helm. And this is relatively gaming. So, yeah, Bob Iger and venture capitalist Josh Kushner. I don't want to, let's not, undersell Josh Kushner here on this because screw him. They agreed to buy the Los Angeles Lakers in a deal valuing the NBA franchise at over $12 billion. Just as LeBron James yeets his way to Philadelphia. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. That's what the fuck you CEO Disney money will get you. You can buy your very own NBA team. I thought it'd be ridiculous to own like an NHL team, but an NBA team is valued at like 11x the amount, so that's kind of insane. $12 billion would get you like the original 6 NHL teams plus whatever expansion teams you wanted. Like that's absurd amount of money. But good for Bob Iger, I suppose, and bad for the NBA, most likely.
Why?
Just because the Josh Kushner part of it.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but what are they going to do? They're just going to sit there and be like, just make us money. That's all. It's the Lakers. Come on. Even with LeBron gone, the franchise is the Lakers is a big fan base. They're going to be fine
True.
at the Staples Center. Oh, wait, it's not the Staples Center anymore. It's the fucking Izod, I don't know. It's got fancy lights and shit. Doesn't matter. Yeah, whatever. Like, okay, you bought, you invested. Good for you guys. Make more money. They're gonna make that money back in no day. No, like very quickly.
Probably, most likely, yes.
And with LeBron that there, they have a bunch of money free. They don't have to expend that.
True, very true. Oh, maybe this was a wiser choice than I had imagined, Mister.
Rich for a reason.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Anyway, this is just a quick piece of news, but a leaked internal letter reveals the existence and plan to produce Hogwarts Legacy 2, which didn't surprise fans, as job listings posted online for the project have already previously been discovered. So people already knew that they were hiring for this project, but now there's internal memos that confirm its existence. Does that get you excited at all? Did you ever try Hogwarts Legacy whatsoever? I know it's a very controversial game for many reasons, at least 3 I can think of. So.
Yeah. Honestly, no. I'm already checked out. I have played a little bit of Hogwarts Legacy. I played the opening of it and then stopped. I thought it was amazing, and I've heard the amazing things about the game, and I'm really stoked with like the team itself and like the dedication they put into it and whatnot. It sounds like Hogwarts Legacy is an amazing game. But yes, then there's the overlooming darkness that is J.K. Rowling and her getting involved in politics and anti-trans policies and stuff like that. It is disgusting and awful. I made sure when I got my copy to get it secondhand. I didn't want to buy it directly from anyone, so I just went to my local game shop and did that. But even then, I still face a wall of like, I want to play it, but it's more important, like, you know, sticking up for our trans friends and stuff like that, and doing what we can there. So while I understand why this news is here and stuff like that, for me personally, I'm not excited. And it's just unfortunate what she's done to her own franchise and everything. So it sucks. Yeah.
I'm in a very similar boat as you are. I'm in a lot of spaces online with large trans communities and things. So I felt very awkward if I was to play the game. I did get the game. Technically, I own the game digitally from the Epic Games Store. The Epic Games Store gave Hogwarts Legacy away for free, I believe, last Christmas. So I did redeem that just so I had it in my library.
Yeah.
But I've not been able to bring myself to play it as of yet. I don't know. Like, technically, I didn't buy it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, nobody profited from that. Although, I don't know how that works with Epic Games Store. I don't know if they give developers a kickback for giving them
Sure.
a free game. Like, if they pay them up front, like a lump sum, they're like, hey, we'll give you $50,000 and then we'll put your game for free for like 2 days or whatever. Like, I really don't know how it works. So I don't know if she ended up profiting from that or not, honestly.
She probably did in some fashion, but I don't know. I mean, it's such a weird place to be like, oh, well, you're not going to be demonized, or like, you're not the worst person in the world if you play this game. No, I'm not saying that. It's just there's that weird hang up and hold up, you know? And like,
Yeah.
you could say the same thing for like going to Universal Parks because they have the Harry Potter stuff, and like, it's cool to look at, it's cool to ride these things, but then it's just like that little voice in the back of your head like, some icky stuff here. So I don't know, everybody, like, do what you feel comfortable with and what, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say, not find you peace, but like, be nice to people, be kind to people, be supportive of people, stuff like that. That overall is more important than spewing hate and whatnot. So anyways, I don't know. I got nothing good to say here. I'm just mumbling at this point.
Absolutely. No, you're good. I think that was a good conclusion to the segment. A good heartfelt piece. So thank you for saying that. But My last piece of news that I have here is just Persona 4 Revival showed off a new trailer that revealed some additional gameplay details not previously known, such as combat being overhauled with Baton Pass being added, which if you've played more recent Persona games, you'll know that Baton Pass is in there, and a new combat feature called Send Flying being added to the turn-based mechanics, where you can knock shadows into other shadows to spread status effects and cause damage. They also reveal that they're adding fully voice-acted events, new music composition, and primetime combat actions. Persona 4 Revival is set to release February 18th, 2027, and will be on Game Pass day one. So that's pretty exciting if you're a Game Pass member, I suppose. I'm definitely going to, I don't know if I'm definitely going to buy this game. I'm very interested in this game. I would like to purchase it, but there's always the daunting task of a Persona game where you're like, "Ooh, where's that 100 hours?" I forget who said it. I think it was a philosopher who said it or something, but it was like basically they're saying that's on the concept of like reading books and buying books were two separate hobbies, and they're saying that buying books and collecting books is a separate hobby, and the reason that you buy and collect, yeah, and this can be extrapolated to
No, I
games
know.
for sure.
Yeah.
But the reason you buy games or books or things like that or movies is because you're hoping to purchase that time, essentially. You're being hopeful that you can spend that time reading that book or playing that game. It's like this elusive promise. And so, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I just think that that's relevant as well. Persona, though, are you excited for Persona?
No, and like I'm happy for people and excited for people who've been waiting for these remasters, but no, not particularly. I have talked about like the inkling of interest in the Personas from my small experience with 3, small experience with 4, small experience with 5. Like I enjoyed all of it. It's just like you said, they're big time commitments, so that scares me. Obviously, if you enjoy and love something, it doesn't matter that it's a big time commitment. It's like I don't know yet. So seeing that, it's like, oh, before you climb the mountain, just kind of staring up and like, oh shit. So maybe at some point I'll try them again. But in terms of this specific remaster, no, I'm not personally excited. Just happy for others that it's coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I remember my point now, when I was talking about purchasing time, being that Persona is definitely one of those games where you're like, I'm buying the game really hoping that I have 100 hours somewhere that I can spend gaming.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really one of the feelings that I get when I buy a Persona game, because I don't think I may have finished Persona 4 Golden on the PlayStation Vita,
Okay.
but I don't think I've finished any other Persona game, and I've played a lot of them. I've played even Persona 2, I've played Persona 3, I've played Persona 5. I just don't finish these games. They're so long. So,
Gotcha.
maybe because 4 was the one that I finished with Golden, maybe I'll try Revival again. Maybe that'll get me back into it. It is my favorite Persona game and the one that got me into the Persona franchise. I feel like whatever Persona game was your first Persona game is the one that's like your favorite.
Sure.
But yeah, I've yet to even really delve into 3 Reloaded. And that's been like on my radar for a while, and I keep seeing it on sale, and I'm like, ooh, but do I have 80 hours to play Persona 3 Reloaded? But it does look really good, and it is a lot cooler than the PlayStation Portable version of that as well, where it was like the little dots that you would move throughout the city, which was like old SMT style from like the SNES game. So cool that you could actually move your character around.
Nice. You mentioned with Revival here something called Baton Pass. For the non-initiated, what is Baton Pass?
That is, I think you have to trigger it by using the element that the demon is weak to.
Okay.
And then you basically, the next character will get a turn. And if they use something that the enemy is weak to, then the next character will also get a turn. So you can do that and stack up these turns. Oh, that's the press system. What's Baton Pass? I think is it's like an ultimate kind of where you go in and then like everybody beats up the demon at the same time.
Okay.
I think that's what Baton Pass is. I don't know. I'm a little rusty on my Persona mechanics, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, I think what I was describing earlier is the press system itself, not the Baton Pass. That's my bad.
So it's just a gameplay mechanic that was in later numbered Personas that they're also including in this remaster.
Yeah, like Persona 5 for
Gotcha.
sure. Was
Okay.
Baton Pass is a big part of Persona 5.
Cool.
And I'm hoping that they didn't mention it, and I didn't see it in the trailer, but I'm really hoping that they take the dungeon crawling elements of Persona 5, because that's really where Persona 4 is a slog. Climbing up you climb up the same tower over and over again. If you've ever played Legend of Zelda: Phantom of Hourglass, it's kind of like that. Excuse me, where you have to go into the same temple over and over again.
Okay.
And you get a little bit further each time because you have a new item, but then you only get so far, and then you have to back out, and then you go back in, you do the same dungeon over again. If you only get so far, yeah. So that's kind of how Persona 4 operates. So I hope they change that system a little bit to make it a little more interesting for modern audiences.
Gotcha. All right. Cool.
Yeah. That's all I have for my gaming news. How about yourself, sir? What did you have this week?
Hello. Okay, we're gonna ramp up from different categories, folks. I warned TJ yesterday on the stream that I was gonna get a bit ranty, perhaps, and be in a bit of a mood with my first two news stories. One's more of a bit of a bummer. The second one really makes me mad. Then we're going to go into negative news, and then we're going to go into fun news. So let's kick it off. Relatively gaming. YouTube monetization change. This is coming from TechCrunch and Aisha Malik. YouTube now requires creators to have twice as many watch hours to start earning money. YouTube announced on Monday that new creators will have to meet higher thresholds to begin earning money from ads and subscriptions. Creators who want to start earning on the platform will need at least 8,000 qualified watch hours over the past year or 20 million qualified short views in the last 90 days. Currently, creators need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours over the past year, or 1,000 subscribers and 10 million shorts views over the past 90 days. The change is going into effect starting February 1st. The Google-owned company says the update won't impact creators already in the YouTube Partner Program. Additionally, YouTube announced that creators will need to maintain 10 million shorts views over a 90-day period to earn money through the Shorts Creators Pool. Channels below this threshold will remain in the partner program and continue earning on long-form content, with Shorts revenue resuming once they cross 10 million views again. YouTube says the changes are being introduced to, quote, keep pace with the growth of YouTube, which now sees over 200 billion daily Shorts views and over a billion hours of watch time on TV, end quote, every day. The changes make it harder for creators to enter and remain in YouTube's monetization program, especially for Shorts creators. By increasing thresholds, YouTube is putting more pressure on creators' ability to consistently bring in large audiences before being able to earn money on the platform, which could in turn lead to fewer new entrants being able to monetize their content. So yeah, TJ, the dream of me ever getting into the YouTube Partner Program is sailing ever farther away. So we're really in this for just the skin of the game, my friend. I am so sorry.
Well, I hate to break it to you. I've always kind of just been in it for the skin of the game.
Smart.
However, this does kind of suck. This is a bummer that it's going to affect smaller creators and content creators. And like you said, it's going to be a barrier to entry for people trying to enter into the space and make this a job or even just like a second income.
Yeah.
At all. It's going to be very difficult to do so unless you are like, mad viral or something, unless you're putting out big videos or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to start making prank videos or commentary YouTube videos or something.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get those views. You got any bad movies you've seen? Because we can tear that apart scene by scene. I would do some commentary YouTube. I just can't edit, so that sounds like my nightmare because it's like highly edited, that format.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a bit of a bummer for smaller content creators and people who don't want to do prank YouTube videos. So.
Yeah, it's weird. You would think with more creators making money off of ads and subscriptions than oh man, I can't even think of the words. I am so sorry, everybody. It would also trickle down, or rather trickle up to YouTube. If more people are making money, then YouTube ultimately is making more money. I know they have to dish out more, but you would think there would be a correlation there. So bold choicing that they're doubling everything. I don't know. Maybe Google's pinching pennies. Maybe they're in a bad spot, TJ. Who knows?
Well, actually, they did report a loss financially for the first time in Goof's
Oh,
history.
I wonder why. AI?
Yeah.
Good transition, TJ. Did you know that I'm about to rip my fucking hair out of my skull because Twitch is now using your content to train Amazon AI models and has hidden the option to opt out. This is coming from Kotaku and Zach Zweisen. I will say that title's a little clickbaity. It's not that hard to opt out. Anywho, it appears
Well, hold on. Before you go, I just want to say, if you do rip your hair out, can I have it? Because
Sure.
I need a
I
hair
got some to
system.
spare.
Yeah. I got some super glue. We're gonna make this work.
There you
Sorry,
go.
please continue.
All good. It appears Twitch has quietly started using content created by streamers like VODs and live streams to help train Amazon AI models. And the only way to opt out of your content being used this way is to dig through your account's security settings to find a toggle buried inside. On August 12th, content creator and streaming reporter Zach Bussey posted a screenshot of what appears to be a newly added option on Twitch to allow users to opt out of having their content and videos used to train future Amazon-created AI models and generative AI tools. The screenshot quickly went viral, as did Bussey's link to the specific settings submenu within your Twitch account where you can find this AI training opt-out toggle. It appears this was added very recently and without any real warning or notice. If you don't opt out using this hard-to-find setting, Twitch will be able to use your channel's content to quote-unquote train generative AI content models at Amazon. During a stream addressing the situation on Wednesday, Twitch's head of community, Mary Kish, tried to downplay Twitch's use of AI and claimed that the reason people can't opt out of all of Twitch's AI features is that she doesn't think Twitch can, quote-unquote, function without some form of AI. This is where it gets interesting, TJ. She also confirmed she has personally opted out, but clarified that AI is now used across the board and within many live streaming communities. Perhaps the most damning moment came early in the stream when Chief Product Officer Mike Minton addressed the chat, asking why this option was opt-out instead of opt-in. Quote, "Well, there's an honest answer," said Minton, "and I think most of you probably can appreciate this. If it was opt-in, nobody would opt in." That's honestly the answer. So it's going to be on by default. What the fuck?
How is that the answer?
Right? So, yeah, you have the head of community who's opted out herself of this automatic thing, and you have the guy being like, oh, yeah, no, people wouldn't want it. Then don't put it in your fucking shit and don't force it on us. Now, yes. I did say the title was a bit clickbaity.
Sure.
It is hidden in your settings, but I don't think it's like super difficult. You got to jump through 800 different hoops, all that stuff. I will say this just for any content creator friends who are listening to this, even if you're just a viewer on Twitch, please toggle this off. If you go into your settings and you go into security and privacy, you scroll to the bottom, you will see a toggle for this generative AI permission. You toggle it off. It is going to be automatically on. Now, you would think that that's done. Give your page 30 seconds to a minute. Refresh it. Make sure that toggle did not turn back on. There were reports of people who checked it again immediately and it was not changed because there is no save button. So please do your due diligence, toggle it off, double check it's turned off, and you should be in the clear. I will give this also as a warning. If a content creator has this opted in, they've opted in for the AI garbage to be used. If you chat in their chat, that can be used, even though you have toggled off. It's only for your content that you're putting it out there. Your chat messages can be used. If you were to guest on someone else's stream, that can be used. Stuff like that. So just putting it out there for everybody. There's been a lot of backlash. As the article said, people were going viral with that tweet, reposting it, all that stuff. And even the creators know at Twitch, no one's going to want this, so we're just going to push it on anybody automatically. I know Instagram did this recently too in the past couple months. So companies are doing this just automatically. So just be diligent once again and keep your eyes on your settings and stuff like that. I think TikTok also used it too. But then that went away, so thank God.
Hey, Brett.
Hi.
Enigma 9011. Just a quick question, if
Please.
you will. What the fuck do they need AI training of Twitch videos for in the first freaking place? Are we gonna make AI Twitch streamers now? They're already making AI podcasts. Are they really gonna make AI live streamers? I am gonna yeet my computer into the fucking sun if they're like, now is a personalized AI Twitch streamer that'll Twitch stream your own Steam games from your library and comment on stuff that we know about you from your ChatGPT profile. Oh my god, what is happening right now? Why do they need this? I can't think of any practical reason why you would need to watch freaking Pokemon and have that be trained for an AI. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's baffling. It might not be specifically tied into the Twitch type stuff. It seemed like from one of their articles of the Q&A, it was mainly going to be used for like text-to-speech functions and other things like that, which, if I'm going to play devil's advocate, okay, I'm fine with that, like a closed caption and those features. However, as we've talked in the past with other stories, here's the grain of salt. They're going to want fucking everything. So like, if they're being honest and that's what they're using it for, fine. But yes, if it's going to turn into this generative AI streamer doing this thing, yeah, I don't understand why go against the people that are bringing money to your platform. And Twitch, sorry to say it, has been struggling for money for a while. This is not going to help. So, yeah, we mentioned Twitch, and I stream on there Tuesday through Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, selfish plug. What's the future of that? Maybe I'm going to be streaming over on YouTube. Oh, wait, I have to earn double the fucking numbers to get monetization there. I don't know. So, support your creators however you can. Patreon, Ko-fi links, or coffee links, whatever the fuck that is. Following them on social media directly. Any other side projects they got. Support those creators, whether it's podcast hosts, whether it's Twitch streamers, whether it's live React people, whoever it is. Support them wherever you can, because yeah, the bigger entities, whoo-wee, man, are making some choices.
Yeah, absolutely. And Twitch is my preferred. Like, if I was going to choose one website where I had to watch videos on, it would be Twitch of all the other websites. And I just, I keep seeing them making baffling decisions like this, where it's like, you're just like kicking yourself in the teeth for no reason. When YouTube, let's be honest, if YouTube had any type of searchability or discoverability for live streams, it would be over. It wouldn't even be a fucking discussion.
Yep.
Yes, the chat is better on Twitch. Absolutely. But you don't think YouTube could fix that over the years? I think they could. I think they could get better at that. I think they could rip that from Twitch if they really wanted to, honestly.
Yep.
They're big enough to do so. So Twitch has been struggling for a while, and this is just not a good decision. That's on the one hand. On the second hand, you're saying that they're trying to use it for a language learning, like text-to-speech. Even if that's true, training it on like chat messages is like the dumbest idea. Like, there's way better ways to train AI models on text to speech and stuff. In fact, we've been doing this for decades with the people going on and like actually physically typing in what they see on images, and computers learning that way to read images that way. So we don't need this like AI going into Twitch chat so that I can learn how to say keck W. That's not what I need.
But TJ, they have to pay people to do the other method. This way they don't have to pay people. It's just a setting. Boop, boop.
True.
Yeah.
Even still, I feel like ChatGPT can just sell all the free people's data that they've been collecting and use that as a text to speech, because that's got to be like, however many thousands and thousands of chats of text and stuff by now. So
Right.
I don't know. Sorry to
Yeah.
get all up in your news story,
No.
but yeah, that was just absolutely this fucking baffling to me. I had no idea that was a thing. I turned it off while you were talking, so I did turn that feature off. But it sucks that my chat messages might be used if my favorite Twitch streamers don't opt out of that themselves, which I
Right.
don't know if they'll be aware of it because I follow gaming news and I wasn't even aware of it. So like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's still a hot button topic. I think the news literally just dropped yesterday as of recording, so hopefully, more and more and more people are learning about this and turning that off. I've seen content creators on TikTok talking about it too, and Blue Sky and stuff. So hopefully the news is spreading and yeah, people are turning that off in the masses. But we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about lovely game industry stuff. Not really. The trend continues. This is coming from GamesIndustry.biz and Sophie McCoy. Supermassive Games has announced a third round of layoffs in 3 years, potentially impacting up to 75 positions. In a statement, the developer had said the decision was a necessary step to help ensure the sustainability of the company. We know this will be an incredibly difficult time for everyone, and our priority throughout the process will be to provide support to all those impacted. Last July, the developer cut 36 roles as it postponed its horror title Directive 8020 from October 2025 to May of 2026. At the time, it said the industry remains a challenging and ever-evolving environment, and that it had to adapt its team structure to better align with these changes. So, yep, Supermassive, unfortunately, getting smaller. Once again, I haven't seen much about Directive 8020 outside of the cover art, so I don't know how it is as a game, but hopefully it's doing okay. But if you're laying off 75 more people, then it might not seem like it was enough in terms of interest.
Yeah, again, just gaming studios laying off employees just left and right. It's not a good time to be a game developer.
Correct. And now for me to make a hard pivot, the hardest of pivots ever, as we say, oh, the game industry sucks. I'm going to talk about how the game industry does not suck ass. Throw up the X, TJ. More Ball X Pit. This is coming from Blue Sky. With the latest Naturalist update, we've officially crossed 2 million copies sold.
Nice.
But what if we keep the balls rolling? Keep an eye out for some big, exciting Ball X Pit news coming very soon. You're not free from its clutches just yet. Sorry. So that was directly from the Ball X Pit Blue Sky account. More content on the way. Yippity yay. Go play Ball Pit.
Yeah. Can I tell you a secret? It might enrage you, but that's why I've kept it from you this whole time. I'm Batman. No, the secret is for a limited time. When I first got my Switch 2, they had a promotion where you could play Ball X Pit for free, and I downloaded Ball X Pit for free, and I was able to play it. I played it for about 5 minutes, and I quit. And I never touched it again.
That's all right. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But it could be your cup of tea if you go to your platform of choice and get Ball X Pit. I don't know. Try it out. If there's a demo, or watch some videos.
No, I remember watching you play the demo actually for Ball X Pit.
Yeah.
Didn't it come out during
Steam Next Fest, I think, is when the demo was.
Yeah, Next Fest. Yeah, so I remember watching you play the demo during the Next Fest demo marathon, and I remember you were struggling hardcore.
Yes.
You were really having a hard time with those balls and those pits.
Yeah.
But so maybe that's the case for me because I think it clicked for you later on down the line. I
yes,
think
it
you
did.
just stuck with it and played it a little bit longer. So maybe I need more than 5 freaking minutes. But,
I'm not good at it immediately.
Yeah.
It's all right. I appreciate you trying it. Speaking of another game that people need to play, this will wrap up the news for me. It's coming from Games Radar and Allie Jones over there. The final biome update for Peak. Last year's friend slop, hate that word, phenomenon drops tomorrow, but its developers had to rely on a whole lot of subterfuge to keep its content secret. So I just thought this was a funny story. The final update introduces 2 new biomes to Peak, the Gloom and the Citadel, which replace the Kiln and Caldera and will rotate in much like other new biomes. But co-developers Landfall and Aggro Crab didn't want the new arrivals to be spoiled by data miners, so they had to find a way to hide their names within Peak's files. In a video on YouTube, developer Paige Wilson says that the team worked hard to keep the biome secret for months, but knew that there's no reason to fight the fact that data miners will also be able to see upcoming information before it drops. Knowing they couldn't win in a fair fight, Wilson said Aggro Crab decided, let's have fun with it, with their solution. The solution was simple. Aggro Crab just added a load of fake biomes with real biomes in the weeks leading up to the final update. Anyone who snooped around the files would see all the real biomes like Tropics and Mesa, but also 7 fake biomes. These included some legitimate sounding options like Grasslands and Temple, but also some sillier options like including Skyblock, Hell, Heaven, and Mars? As if that weren't enough of a distraction, it looks from Wilson's peek at the files like the 2 real biomes were codenamed Wisconsin and Void, are also on the list of biomes that miners would have seen, meaning that even if you saw through the subterfuge, you wouldn't really know what you were looking at. The real Gloom and Citadel biomes will be available from tomorrow, aka it's already out now. The final update means that Peak will finally be ready to get its console ports sorted after that. Ooh, I didn't know they were making console ports. So yeah, new Peak content out there. I haven't played Peak in quite some time, but just happy at the game's success. And if you've been enjoying the climb with your little scouts, you have some new biomes that you can now venture in. So please go update your game and jump in onto that.
The only time I've played Peak is been on camera.
Yeah.
It's for extra life. That's been it.
And it's probably going to happen again this year. We'll see.
Sick.
Nice. Well, that's going to wrap up the news for us this week. So let's jump over to our next section. What you been playing, man? So TJ, what have you been playing? My dude.
I think you know, probably. But I've been playing before I get into Marvel Tokon, which I have been playing just too much of, honestly. I've also started a new file in Marvel Midnight Suns. I think last maybe 2 weeks ago, in an episode I talked about how I was playing the end game content, just running some side missions. Well, I decided to make a completely new file, not a new game plus file either, just completely new from scratch file on hard difficulty. And yeah, I'm excited to focus on different heroes. I was telling you off podcast as well. I feel like in that game, really there's momentum for developing your characters. So like once you start getting cards for characters, you start you double up the cards and triple up the cards and stuff, and you start getting different aspects to them and things like that. And you only have so many resources in the Forge to upgrade, so really you only have so many heroes you can really focus on anyway. So there was a lot of heroes that I did not focus on in my first run, like Blade and Ghost Rider and stuff. I didn't like playing as Ghost Rider that much because he hurts himself, for example. And Blade was mostly focused on he would kill the little guys, but he would be very bad at hitting like the elites.
Oh, okay.
And also unless you like powered up his blood loss ability, which relied on like getting the right cards at the right time, which I wasn't a fan of at the time. But now I'm playing Marvel Tokon as Blade a lot, and I really like Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider, so I really want to play as both of them, and other characters as well. But I want to focus on characters like that on this run in my Marvel Midnight Suns journey. Also Magic as well. I didn't know who Magic was the first time I played Midnight Suns.
Yep.
So I didn't focus on her. Like between her and Nico, I immediately gravitated towards Nico, and I made her on my team. And she's like max level on my main. I have her like final ability. You can get like a final ability for each character if you complete like a combat trial, and that also gives you the Midnight Sun costume, which you get anyway at the final mission, but you can get it earlier
Cool.
if you do like the little combat trial. And so I even did her combat trial and got her special ability and stuff. Anyway, it's not important. The important thing is I've been playing Midnight Suns a little bit, and it's pretty fun. But mostly what I've been playing is Marvel Tokon. Um, I've been playing it online actually a lot. I've been playing it in the open lobby mostly, but also I've been playing a lot of casual and ranked matches. I was reading online that people were saying like, hey, if you're struggling in casual matches, which I was getting my ass kicked pretty hard in casual, because in Marvel Tokon, if you don't know what you're doing and the other person knows what they're doing, yeah, it's gonna be a rough day for you. You're gonna see a really one-sided affair. So that was happening to me in casual a little bit. So they're like, try ranked. You know, ranked will help because it'll be like at your level. But it starts you off in gold one. So basically, I think I'm like a bronze level character player. I'm in silver right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm bronze level. So that means every time I log on and I do a ranked fight, I'm just getting my ass kicked and losing ranked points. So it just feels bad watching my rank go
Yeah.
down further and further and further. But you know, in spite of that, I'm still having fun because I feel like the ranked fights, even though I'm losing, they do feel a little closer. I feel like I'm a little closer, and also I've been getting a lot better. How have I been getting better? Specifically with one mode, and that is the endless mode in Arcade Rumble. We talked about it last week. I said, hey, there's an endless mode. I mentioned it briefly, but I don't think I had tried it. I just said like, hey, that's in there if you want it, because I'm not really a big fan of endless mode. Brett, like when you play Mortal Kombat, you know they have the endless tower.
Yeah.
Because I do love running the towers in Mortal Kombat. I have like 80 hours in Mortal Kombat 1 just running towers basically, besides like the 5 hours I played with you. But it was mostly just running towers. But yeah, so the endless tower, I never enjoyed doing the endless tower in Mortal Kombat. Not a fun time at all. Marvel Tokon, on the other hand, it's like a whole separate mode, and it's like its own thing. There's roguelike elements into it, for example. So basically, how it works is you fight a team of four, and every round it rotates to a different character in the team of four. Once you defeat all four of those team members, then you go to a boss fight where it's just one character. They don't have any teammates at all. And like generally these boss fights are more difficult. They're like it's like closer to actually fighting like an end game arcade rumble match or like fighting someone online. Not at first, obviously. Like when you fight, like you know, the level 5 one, it's like it's pretty easy.
Sure.
But by the time you're fighting level 20 or level 30, it's getting pretty difficult. So yeah, I've been playing that. And oh, sorry, after you beat the boss, so you beat the boss, and then you get a card. You unlock these cards, these like character cards that have different abilities and bonuses, and it's completely randomized. And if you get the same bonuses or the same card, it will like upgrade the bonus. So let's say Captain America is you get 10% defensive bonus from striking hits. Well, if you get a second Captain America, now you have a 15% defensive bonus against striking hits. So it's really cool to get the different cards and like prioritize different playstyles. Like one time I completely prioritized, I had Blade and Star-Lord cards, and what Blade does is he ups your speed up to like I think it starts with 30%. You're just automatically 30% faster if you have the Blade card, which is pretty impressive. And then Star-Lord's card gives you an additional jump, an air dash and boost, which is also pretty big and impressive. So I had two of those cards at the same time. So I was just zipping around the screen. I was all over the place. I was as Wolverine too, which Wolverine really excels when he's like right up close to the other characters, so his claws can hit. So yeah, I'd just be zipping around as Wolverine. It was very fun and satisfying. So the cards actually change up the gameplay quite a bit in that regard. So that's pretty cool, and that you get new cards basically every 5 levels basically, and so you just keep doing that. Your health is also carried over. It's an endless mode, so it's like a survival mode. So your health is carried over. You get a little bit of health each time you defeat an enemy. It's not that much health though. You get a big amount of health when you beat a boss. But when you defeat the normal enemies, you really only get like a little bit of health. So it's really fun and interesting sometimes on some levels, like level 25 or so. Maybe I'll get my ass kicked by the boss a little bit, and I'll have like a little bit of health left. But like usually the normal guys in between the bosses are like pushovers, they're like really easy. So I'll just like lock in and I'll just start doing mad combos and I'll get 3 perfects in a row or 4 perfects in a row and get my health up as much as I can before I fight the next boss.
Yeah.
So it's like fun stuff like that, like little mini game within the game. So I've really been enjoying that, and it's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying like watching a podcast or a live stream and then putting the endless mode on. I've also been getting work done where I just like have the endless mode. I'll do like 4 or 5 fights and then I'll pause it. I'll do a little bit of work and then I'll come back. I'll do like 3 or 4 fights or whatever. So it's really fun. It's a really great mode. So I'll do that usually if I'm playing like I was playing at like 6:30 this morning. So I was like probably nobody's gonna be online at 6:30 this morning in my region because it specifically does like the southern U.S. and I believe central U.S. region. I think I have that on too. So yeah, I was like, nobody's gonna be up probably right now. So I did the endless mode instead, or the survival mode, as I should call it. And then usually when I'm playing a little bit later, then I'll play online with some people, and that's been fun. I have been getting better though because you and I talk about before in fighting games where how we don't really go into training modes at all.
Right.
I've been going into training mode in this game a little bit more, but still not a lot, if I'm being honest with you. But with the survival mode, you're doing so many fights in a row, and you have so many of those easy pushover fights in between the boss fights that you can really experiment with like your combos and practice. So in a way, I am getting all that practice in, and so I'm able to do combos that are not auto combos now. I'm able to do a couple other combos with like Wolverine and stuff. And then I was watching Maximilian Dude, and I was watching him play Wolverine, and I was like, oh, you can do that and that. That's really interesting. Maybe I'll try to do that. And I tried, and I failed. I couldn't get the timing right, but it's cool to know that I can do that. I can aspire to
Yeah.
try that, and maybe practice will make perfect in that regard as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That was a big thing with Mortal Kombat. That's where I learned a lot of stuff, was watching other people. Like, shout out to Unruly. He plays Melina, and I play Melina and MKX specifically, and then it kind of rolled over a little bit into 11 or 1. I can't remember which one she's in. But a lot of the stuff that I learned to do was specifically by watching him. Like, oh, he's doing that to that. Okay, yeah, let me try that, and then it finally clicked. So yeah, it's a good way to learn things. It's just watching other people do it. Have you tried any of the? I don't remember if they're trials or like the combo challenges with any of the characters. Have you done that at all?
I have not done that. Those actually, as much as I don't like training modes, I dislike the character combat trials or whatever,
Okay.
more than anything because they piss me off so much. Usually in games, I've not tried it at Marvel Tokon, so maybe it's good. This game has been very beginner friendly with a lot of things. We can talk about that as well and its gameplay elements. But so maybe it's like more beginner friendly in the in the way it handles the characters, those like masteries or whatever.
Sure.
But well, I'll have to see. Maybe I'll fire that up tonight after the podcast. Maybe I'll give it a shot and see what it's like.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. They can definitely be frustrating in general. And I think it's more of a frustration of like you drop the combo, like you get 75% of the way there, and then you're like, fuck! It's just like, it's like this tiny little millisecond off. So I definitely get that. I've only dipped my toes into it a little bit, and I can't remember specifics in terms of like how easy it was. But I think I did 4 of them with Loki. Could I tell you what the combos are? No, but I know 4 of them are complete. So yeah, maybe give it a try and see if that helps. But I mean, regardless, you are learning by playing and learning other things by watching people. So it's not like you're just static. Like you said, you are growing and expanding your repertoire, which is awesome. And that's how it should be. It should come naturally with time, progression, stuff like that.
Yeah, I also learned from TikTok, I believe, where this guy's like, hey, just instead of doing an auto combo, do this combo instead. You can do it with every character. And it's just you go up and you do, and the game teaches you this in the beginning as well, minus the last part, but you just go up and you do light attack, medium attack, heavy attack, and then down heavy attack, launch them in the air, and then you can do like a couple of lights or whatever, and then you can do a tag team hit. And do that, and that'll give you like 26,000 damage or something like that. So you can do that with every single character. So I've just been practicing doing that over and over again because I was really bad at doing that at first, and now I can do it like 80% of the time. I can get the launch into the team combo. Sometimes I'll accidentally drop it, and like my assist will come out on the bottom while I'm in the air. or yeah, sometimes I just won't. I'll hit one too many buttons and it'll go for the auto combo or drop it or something. But yeah, I'm finding the auto combos are they are combos and it is a good way to get into the game. I don't know if I would be this into the game if it wasn't for the auto combos. They got me into the game. They got my foot in the door so that I could have a little bit of fun while I'm still learning. But yeah, they are definitely not the best combos in the game. They are just in fact combos.
Cool.
But yeah, really been enjoying Marvel Tokon. It's been great. If you like fighting games at all, I recommend giving it a shot. If you don't like fighting games at all, if this is maybe one of your first fighting games, I also actually do recommend it because of the auto combos and because of how beginner friendly a lot of the online experience has been, in my opinion, with like casuals and especially in the lobby. I'm finding a lot of players that are like way below my level, and then a lot of players that are like right at my level. So. The lobby's been a good experience.
Nice.
But yeah, just playing Marvel Tokon. Sorry, I could rant about Tokon for another 3 hours, but that's my thoughts so far. Go Team Wolverine.
Cool.
Wolverine's very fun to play.
Nice. Yeah, we'll continue on the Tokon train just for a little bit longer because there's one of the two I'm going to talk about today as well.
Sure.
I played more Tokon, haha, shocker, in comparison to like the 30 minutes that I played last time we recorded. I don't remember.
Right.
I haven't played as much as TJ has, but I have delved into it more. A lot of it has been playing TJ online, which I've been very grateful for. Our connections have been very steady. I think we only ran into one issue
Yeah, that one time was
very
bad.
first time. It was like, whoa! But outside of that, everything's ran very smoothly, and I feel like we're both picking up more and more on things. That first session, I was very just kind of wing it, and I was like, I don't remember shit. I'm just going to hit buttons and hope for the best. I wasn't using my character attacks. I wasn't using their specials. It was just light, medium, heavy, and I'm going to try some quarter circles here and there, see what works. But now that I've played it a little bit more and did that introductory battle, I realized, oh, yeah, I should do the character stuff more. I should tag. Am I the most consistent with tagging and swapping still? No, but at least it's there a little bit. We joked about it on stream. Low key seems to be low key my best character. I am really enjoying him. Deadpool seems like an easy one to pick up as well. I dug his stuff when I tried him out for the first time. Star-Lord, there's a lot of muscle memory that's coming back from the beta, so I would say those have definitely been my top 3 characters so far. I haven't delved too much into the roster outside of those guys. I still want to learn more about Goblin just because he's got a cool look to him. I think I remember using Kamala in the beta, so I'd like to try her again, or Miss Marvel, if we want to be, accurate with the names here. So we'll see. Obviously, time will tell there. You talked very highly of Tokon in your experience. I'm unfortunately going to talk very low and negative about Tokon for a minute here. I agree with everything you said, where this is a very relatively beginner friendly game. Everything's running very smoothly, everything looks very great, and as a game overall it is solid. The part I'm negative about is the story mode or the episode mode in which they bring to the table. It's so weird because in a way I really do enjoy it and I think it's really great. And on the other hand, I'm like, I want to die playing this mode. So you talked about this last week, how it goes through these comic book panels. It gives you this in-depth story with the Samurai Outlaws or the Avengers or the Unstoppable X-Men, if that's the right name. Like, it gives you in-depth stories with all 5 teams, which I really appreciate, and I think it adds depth to everybody, and like it gives you a reason of like what their motivations are, investments, all that jazz, which is great.
Even explains some of their character designs, like Savage Hulk, for example. Like, why does he look like that? You have to play the story mode to find out why.
For sure. So I've really enjoyed that, and you had mentioned that most of your fights are 1 round, and that is accurate. You jump in, and it's kind of like a tutorial. I only have done 1 episode mode, so I don't know if it's shared throughout all of them. But it's the journey of you. Okay. It's the journey of you assembling your team. Why did these 4 get together? And you get 1 fight, 1 mission where you get a loose tutorial of here's Blade, here's how you play Blade, or a mechanic of Blade, here's Deadpool, here's a mechanic of Deadpool, and so on and so forth. And you do that with all your characters, and then you get into the tournament already started at that point. So it's really weird that you're still learning before the high stakes kick in, and then you get to the end and it's a boss fight. And it's like you said, it's 3 stages of boss fight. And I was enjoying all the fighting of it, even if in between was a long time. And when we got to Champion, he wasn't putting up much of a fight, I'm not going to lie, until that 3rd stage. 3rd stage definitely ramps up a bit. I was getting frustrated with myself more than the game because I had gotten so close to finishing it with like my 3rd attempt that it just kind of got away from me, and it was loss until I finally overcame that hurdle. So I think that's more of a user error type of thing and not like a flack on the game, for example. I just want to be clear with that. But that difficulty spike does jump, like TJ mentioned last week. It's nothing. Oh, hey, you need to play this game. And for that to happen over the course of 2 hours is so odd of a choice. Now, another big negative, or something that I think really causes this weird difficulty spike, is how long it is in between fights. The comic book panels, once again, we said they're great. There's a lot of fun cameos. You get to learn about the characters, yada, yada, yada. Every speaking section has the most awkward pregnant pause after they're done talking. I'm Loki, blah, 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 blah. Wait. I'm Blade, la, 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 da, 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 da. Wait. Every fucking time they talk, and it's so awkward. It's just like, oh, please talk faster, do something. Everything is voiced over, which is appreciated. I think the artwork of the comic book panels is very, very nice. I get why, in comparison to like an animation style where the shared cutscenes are shown, they didn't do that for the entire thing. I get it. But man, why does it go so slow? Talk faster.
Can I tell you why I think it is?
Please.
Well, first, let me ask you this. Did you notice that when the comic panels come up on the screen, they come up in the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
And sometimes they got a little bit of animation or not. And then they settle back into the comic page. Did you notice that they do not settle in from left to right? They actually settle in from the top right corner into the left because it is Japanese game like a manga.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think the pregnant pauses in between dialogue lines is because they probably timed this for the Japanese dialogue specifically, and then they did the audio voiceovers on different languages.
Gotcha. Okay, that would make sense. Man, I just wish they would. Like, can you not just tweak that timing? Like, okay, person finished talking, go. Finish talking, go. Like,
right, I want to be clear that that's the reason. That I'm pretty sure that's why that exists. But also, I want to say that's not an excuse for it to be that they can, knowing that they can go back in and like, especially since this is a game that's it is asking $60. It is a big purchasing point for a fighting game right now. Invincible Versus asks for 50, I believe, or 40, and Avatar was 30. So this is the premier fighting game coming in saying, we're going to be the highest the quality content, and you can't go in and make sure that the timing isn't super hella weird for the American voices. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah. So that's the biggest takeaway in terms of a negative of the episode mode. And it's unfortunate that I had such a negative experience or feeling coming out of that first one, because I'm really like not motivated to play the others. And you do get on some unlockables. Most of it's like character art. I will bitch about this also. It's not clear what you get. It flashes on the screen very briefly, but then once the story wraps up, there's like not like a big gallery of like, here's all your unlockables or what you actually got. So I was like very confused after I found the artwork, after I found the music of like, I thought there was character stuff too. you have to go into each individual character, and maybe you'll be lucky and notice, oh yeah, I do have colors 5 and 6 now for these characters. I feel like that should be way more clear. And also, I kind of wanted more costumes and not just palette swaps. I'm not going to lie. So it's like, why am I going into the story mode? You only have to do it once if you want the big unlockable, which is champion. Outside of that, I'm like, do I have to do the other 4? I don't know. It doesn't feel enticing enough to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a reason why I've played over 60 at this point hours of Marvel Tokon, and I have only completed one episode, being the Avengers. I've gotten the X-Men to the champion fight. I got my ass kicked in round 3 and said, fuck it, I'm tired of danger. I'm going to start the Samurai Outriders. I got like through chapter 3 of that, and I said, why am I doing this to myself? I could just go play online against people. So I was just doing that instead. So yeah, I'm not very highly incentivized to go back through the episodes modes. It is a bit of a slog. Maybe if I'm like super bored, I would go back through and play it. But like, there's just so much other stuff I'd rather do in this game. I agree, the episodes mode's not great. I actually wouldn't disagree with you on that. Even though I've been gloating over Marvel Tokon so far. You were talking about character customization and stuff.
Yeah.
While there's not costumes to unlock, there are other palettes to unlock in different ways in the game. In the survival mode that I was talking about previously, if you make it to level 100 in survival mode, you actually unlock palette swap number 10, or maybe it's 9, for every character in the game.
Oh, okay. So you only have to do it once.
Yeah, so you just have to do it one time. You have to do it with every team. And not only is it for every character in the game, but it is like some of the best palette swaps in the game, including Captain America, for example. His jacket becomes a brown leather bomber jacket around his Captain America costume. So, like, I kind of need that in my life. The highest I've gotten is 79, which was pretty high, I thought, because prior to that, my best team was 44. So I'm from 44 and I jumped all the way up to 79. So I don't know. That was with my main team with Blade and Wolverine, and Black Panther and Carnage. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to run them again and see if I can run it back. But it also takes a long time. It took like 45 minutes to go through and do the 79 levels. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that again.
Yeah, well,
just yet.
Could be something like you said, podcast, throw it on and do that. I think that's definitely achievable for you. That's a big jump of 44 to 79. So yeah, that seems attainable. It would be palette 10 because we looked at palette 9. It's that weird like rainbow effect from the pre-order. Right.
Yeah, so it would be palette 10 then. Yeah, but yeah, it's cool. It's like the secret palette that you can unlock if you reach level 100. So it's just cool that I have something to work for and strive for, other than just like beating my own record, which is cool. It does save your record of your best performance, which is nice. I wish it saved records of your other performances. I would like to see. I just did a run previously at like 5 o'clock or whatever, where I got to like 50 something. I would like to see like those attempts and which teams I used to get what attempts. I think would be interesting because a lot of times, because they're, it is like half training mode for me at this point, like the in between the boss fights.
Yeah.
That like I choose a lot of different random teams because I want to like I'm like, oh, I want to practice with Spider-Man. Let me play Spider-Man in the survival mode, and I'll be able to play with Spider-Man for like 20 minutes or whatever. So doing that means that I would like to see which teams actually get far, which combinations of characters are good. That would be data that I would like to see, but unfortunately, you can only see your best score.
Gotcha. But yeah, Marvel Tokon, very good, minus a few flaws here and there, but I'm sure we'll be talking about it more in the weeks to come.
Sure.
I do want to quickly spotlight one other game that I did play, one I played yesterday on stream, and it is Moldwasher. For those of you power wash sickos like me, I would highly recommend Moldwasher. Moldwasher is an indie game. I should have pulled up the Steam page for it. I'll do that while I'm talking here. It's you're a little sushi roll, and you and other food are in charge of cleaning up the house for some reason. I don't know what is going on. We joked about it on stream. Is this like someone's acid trip where they think they're food and they're cleaning things up, or what is going on? But the Steam description: clean moldy messes as a brave food hero. Equip your high pressure spray, choose the right nozzle, and clear away sticky messes in this cozy arcade style fridge cleaning adventure. It's from Ruble Games and published by Anshar Publishing. And yeah, it is a top down version of Power Wash. Your little sushi roll's got his power washer, and you just need to clean up these miniature levels of all the mold, muck, and grime wherever you may be. As you progress, the levels will get a little bit more difficult, where the things you're cleaning are bigger in scale, but also mold will like regrow if you don't manage it properly and clean it in a strategic and smart manner. And then they also had a lot of fun with it too, where you get different tools as well. So one I personally really enjoyed is they kind of give you like a little leaf blower type thing. So there's a bunch of like sprinkles, for example, on the ground, or dust bunnies. You got a leaf blow and blow those away like just off of a counter. And I found that to be a lot of fun. And then one towards the end of stream that we did get was a flamethrower. So you can burn certain things and then clean up whatever other gunk is around there. Right now on Steam, it is $9. So I would go recommend that to anybody, once again, who's looking for the kick of Power Wash and just enjoys that chill vibe of cleaning things up and kind of hearing the dings of success. There's also a lot of fun collectibles, some cool like music tracks that you can unlock while you're cleaning things, and fun toys that you can use to kind of decorate your central hub. I had a great time with Moldwasher, and yeah, once again, highly recommend it.
That's great. I had a good time watching you play it. It looked delightful.
Good. I'm glad. Well, that's it for what you've been playing, so let's move on to our next section. It's our dreaded mystery section. Now, we've been yapping quite a bit today, so I did not bring a quiz to the table because I'm busy, so sorry. But I did want to pick TJ's brain on something that he's very passionate about, and I have like kind of a dabbling in, and I'd kind of want to know more of why he's so passionate about it. So we're going to be talking about Souls-like games. So TJ, I'm just going to ask you some questions just to kind of get more behind the curtain, behind the scenes of like why you connect with these games so much. So I think we all know the answer to the first question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What is your favorite Souls-like game?
Elden Ring.
Cool. Check.
Yeah. Although I will say, Dark Souls 3, close second. I do love Dark Souls 3 quite a lot. That's a great freaking game.
Cool. So we got Elden Ring and we got Dark Souls 3. From Software tends to be like, would you say like the pioneer of these games and like the flag bearer?
For sure. I think Demon Souls really pioneered it. I think they had a game before Demon Souls as well.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was another action game that kind of used some similar things, but Demon Souls was the first one that I think Miyazaki took the helm over.
Okay.
And that really I don't know, it kind of changed the landscape as far as I can remember. People really started to dig the game. It got like a cult following, and by the time Dark Souls came out, it was like this big thing where it was like, hey, this game is hard. Like people knew the game was hard before they played it. But it was like it's very fun though if you can get over the challenge. It's like a fun challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's certainly where the term Souls-like comes from, as TJ had mentioned, Demon Souls. And for those of you guys who don't know, Souls-like games are, once again, correct me if I'm wrong as well, because you're more in the wheelhouse here, third-person action-adventure games that are going to provide quite a bit of challenge, have giant boss battles or epic fights over the course of your journey, but also has a dying mechanic where if you happen to lose, there will be a resource, souls, that you can reclaim from either defeating that enemy and redeeming yourself or finding it somewhere on the map, and you're going to use these souls to gradually progress and evolve your character over time, making them stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I would. The only thing I would add to that is that also RPG mechanics. A lot of RPG mechanics. You're gonna get an old school character sheet with like strength, dexterity, like that kind of thing. And it's not gonna be always super well explained. What does what? Guess what? Different stats do different things in different games. Same developer, but your carry weight is going to be affected by a different stat this game because fuck you, that's why. So you really got to pay attention and like figure out what the stats do. So the RPG mechanics are pretty heavy. And I will say in more recent games, especially Elden Ring as well, yours like souls that you collect and whatever it is. I noticed this in Mina the Hollower as well. Is that not only does it upgrade your character with those RPG mechanics like I just mentioned, so it allows you to level up, but also upgrades your gear as well.
Mm.
So there's constantly this yin yang of like, do I level up or do I make my sword better? So you have that decision as well thrown into the mix. Not only just the oh shit, I lost all my souls and now I gotta trek across the map and hopefully I don't die to a bat or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right, very nice. So, with Elden Ring being your favorite, what got you into these types of games? Was it you trying out a game yourself, or was it watching someone else give it a try? How did you get started in these games?
So it was actually my friend Alan actually got Dark Souls for the Xbox 360. He bought it because he was like, I heard this was a really good game. He's a big fan of like Skyrim,
Mm,
and we were both big fans of Kingdoms of Amalur at the time. So we thought it was gonna be another like fantasy RPG.
yeah.
And so I went over to his house to watch him play it. And I've never seen a grown man so mad in my life. He did not enjoy that game whatsoever. I don't think he got the idea of rising to the challenge. I think he was just frustrated and angry. He never made it out of the tutorial area, the abyss, or whatever, like the church.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually gave me the game. He was just like, here, just take it. So I took it and I played it and I got out of the tutorial area and I had a really good time actually. So I had a fun time. So that's how I started into it, was just because a friend gave me the game because they did not enjoy it and they thought maybe I would, and I ended up having a really good time with it.
Nice. What would you say is the most motivating factor to keep pushing and keep going through these games? Because obviously there's a lot of difficulty tied into them, and like you said, dying happens, which can be frustrating,
Yeah.
as Alan experienced. What do you think is the motivating factor for you to keep going even in loss and defeat?
Um, Man, I want to give you the answer of like the like semi-pretentious answer of like, you know, Dark Souls taught me to rise to challenges in my life because no matter how many times I get defeated, I get back up and I can beat that boss. And I've proven that I can do it in Dark Souls, so I can prove that I do it in my real life. I want to give you that answer. But the real answer is I don't actually like the boss fights in
Oh,
the
okay.
Souls games. I know a lot of people play Souls-like games for the boss fights specifically. There are even Souls-like games that are mostly just boss fights. They're basically just boss fight runs. I definitely don't like those games. There's a reason that Elden Ring is my favorite Souls-like game, and that is because the boss to normal enemy ratio is the highest that it is in any other game. There's actually more normal enemies that you can fight. You don't have to fight the bosses if you super don't want to all the time. There's like wow, how many like main bosses are there? Like seven or something. So it's not like super overwhelming. And there's a lot of like sub bosses and stuff. But a lot of them, once you kind of understand their gimmick, like the great tree, I forget what they're called, but they're the tree things of the Erd Tree Sentinels. That's what they're called,
Okay.
Erd Tree Sentinels. They're like basically big trees. But once you fight one of them, you kind of fought all of them.
Mm.
Some of them will like spew a different element or something, but like it's the same attack patterns. So like it's not super daunting once you learn the attack patterns. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
No.
My point was your question was about what's motivating me. So it's not motivating me is the boss fights and stuff. What's motivating me is the fights with the normal enemies actually. Something about the moment to moment combat with the normal enemies really appeals to me in the Souls-like games. The fact that any normal enemy can kill you, and that it's difficult. Anytime you see an enemy, you have to lock in and really pay attention and focus on every single enemy on the map. Something about that really appeals to me, and I really have a fun time. It feels almost like multiplayer in a way. I know it sounds kind of sad from a single player perspective, but it feels almost like multiplayer in a way. The way you're trying to like outthink the computer and make sure you're making the right move. You're like, oh, if I just parry his attack at the right time, I can push him off the bridge, and then I'll block this guy over here, and it's just really fun having those strategies, and especially in the Dark Souls game. Not so much Elden Ring because Elden Ring's kind of open, but in Dark Souls is really fun crafting those runs as well. We're going through bonfire to bonfire like a set path, and you're really perfecting your run over time as you're dying to a new thing each time, but you're getting better and you're getting further and further along. So it's that progression of getting further and further along, but it is those fights. I just want to fight those the small enemies as many times as possible. That's what motivates me to keep going forward. And when I face a hard boss, it's almost like a punishment for me, where I'm like, I have to get through this boss so I can fight more of the tiny enemies on the other side. I have to just beat this boss so that the rest of the game will unlock for me, and I can fight the other knights and stuff like that. So that's what motivates me. That was a long answer, but that's my answer.
That's good. So even if bosses aren't your biggest motivator, has there been a boss across any of the games that you've really, I wouldn't say resonated with, but really enjoyed the fight or even their appearance? And then on the flip side of it, is there one that you just absolutely hated fighting and just it was the worst at time ever?
There's a couple in Elden Ring that really capture things. Like the first one that comes to mind immediately is Plasudisax, the dragon, which is a crazy, ridiculous name, but I remember it off the top of the dome because he's so cool. He's like a four-headed dragon, but one of the heads fell off.
Okay.
He's like a zombie dragon, and he shoots laser beams out of his face, and he's in a totally missable area in one of the late game areas of the game. But man, is it really fun? And it's unlike any other. I was telling you about how if you learn the tree boss fight, you fought every tree. You have not fought Plasudisax unless you fought Plasudisax. He's a completely unique enemy, and it's a really fun boss fight. Very challenging. Makes you want to pull your hair out at times. I've had runs because that's always one of the last things I do is I'm like, my run is not complete until I've put Plasudisax down. I've got to go, and you have to go back in time to fight him even, which is crazy. Yeah, you have to like go out of time just to kick this guy's ass, and because otherwise I think he's dead. So this is while he's still alive, you have to go back in time anyway. So yeah, Plasudisax, very cool. And then the other one that is really cool and motivates me is, and I just think is awesome, is Margit the Fell Omen. If anybody likes lore for Souls-like games and Elden Ring stuff, read his lore and read about the omens in Elden Ring. They are this race that has been banished beneath the city. They have like twisting, gnarled horns and stuff, and so they all get banished. All the omens get banished underground because people don't want to look at them. And then one of the royalty, Margit, the Fell, he is born an omen. And so he is cast out of royal society, and he's cast underground with the rest of the omens. And yeah, just a lot of it's just very cool. And the fact that he's actually the first boss that you fight before you fight Godric. I want to say he's Godric. Yeah, before you fight Godric, you actually fight Margit. And what you learn if you pay attention when you fight him, he appears. He's the guy with the cane.
Okay, do you fight him on the castle wall?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. I couldn't beat him, but yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. He throws like yellow knives at you, and he's got a golden hammer that he swings. Yeah. Okay. Well, slight spoiler. Sorry, but when you beat him, because you will beat him next time you play Elden Ring, I believe in you.
Thanks.
When you beat him, he turns into a golden mist and dissipates away. And a lot of people don't pay attention to that. But the reason that he turns into a golden mist and dissipates away is because that's not even freaking Margit the Fell. That's a projection of Margit the Fell.
Of course.
That's how powerful he is. He just like Luke Skywalker episode 8 his ass over there. Whoa, 8 his ass. That's not what I meant. Episode 8, comma, his ass over there. And yeah, he just like force projects himself over there. So it's really cool because then spoiler alert again, you fight him later on, but then it's like actually him, and it's like really epic and
Very
cool.
cool.
And he's like, "Didn't I tell you, you motherfucker?" Basically, like, stop doing this. Yeah. So it's really cool, and it's cool. There's so many cool things about Margit. I said he was cast out of his family, but then he's still loyal to his family, even though they treated him like shit,
Mm.
and still upholds his duty to do what he's supposed to do. Like, oh my, the story is so good. Did I mention that George R. R. Martin wrote the story of Elden Ring? So, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, those are two of my favorite bosses in Elden Ring for sure.
Nice.
Margaret the Fell Omen is my spirit animal, and then Placiduous Axe is just one of the coolest boss fights in any video game of all time.
Very nice. So you mentioned the story. Obviously, there's a lot of big set pieces in these games typically, and it's this big grand adventure that your character is going on. In general, do you think the stories are hard to follow because things aren't laid out as much?
Yes, I think the story is incredibly hard to follow. In fact, the story in Elden Ring is like George R. R. Martin wrote the world and the universe, and then Miyazaki and his team were like, okay, we're gonna take that world and universe and we're gonna fast forward 1,000 years into the future, and here's what it looks like. Basically, the post-apocalyptic version of George R. R. Martin's
Oh,
universe,
okay.
like if everything falls apart and falls to shit. So like, it's not even a comprehensible story in that regard because it's like 1,000 years past the comprehensible story. So you're really picking up the pieces. And that part, I kind of don't like that. I'm not the biggest fan. I kind of wish that there was a little more linear storytelling. There's a couple of very small cutscenes in Elden Ring, and I mean very small and very brief cutscenes. But like, if they could do a little bit more, they could have really, fleshed it out and done a lot of cool stuff. Because there's a lot of really cool lore in Elden Ring. You just have to dig for it. And even when you dig for it, though, it's not necessarily understandable or consumable. Because I've watched, shout out to, I believe his name's Vat Vidya on YouTube. And he goes through all the Elden Ring lore and stuff. And yeah, I've watched some of his videos. And even going through someone breaking down the lore, I'm still like confused as to what is happening on some of the things. Now, some of them I do piece together, like Margaret the Fell Omen and stuff. Like, you don't know that playing through the game. That's stuff you have to pick up afterwards and like reading lore documents and stuff. But not all the characters am I able to parse that through. It's just mostly like some of the main characters. They have like there's a lot of lore in the game about them, like Renala and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, okay, like you pick up on some stuff, but
Mhm.
yeah, I wish it was more transparent for sure. Like, I'm sure you have no idea what the fuck is going on in Elden Ring because
No.
it's not very transparent.
Yeah. All right. Um, so with the big fights, obviously attacking is a very important part, but also defense is a very important part. And depending on the game, they want you to roll and dodge,
Mhm.
or they want you to parry. Do you have a preference of which one you use?
In Elden Ring, I still prefer to dodge because I started I beat the game for the first time as a filthy dex user. So, as a katana wielder, I'm definitely dodging. I think I had a shield in that first build, but after a certain point, I just stopped using it. Honestly, I only used it for like ranged attacks, like crossbowmen and stuff. But for the most part, yeah, I would just dodge. I will say in Elden Ring though, over the Dark Souls games, they actually added a very generous, and I mean very generous. It's not necessarily a parry, it's like a rebuttal.
Okay.
I don't know what they call it specifically, but because you still have parries in Elden Ring, like legit ass parries that are the exact timing of like Dark Souls and stuff. But then there's also like this shield parry window where after you take a hit, you have like up to 3 or 4 seconds, which is insane, to hit the heavy attack button, and it makes a specific sound, and then you do a
Mm,
retaliatory swing. You have to be careful doing that because it opens you up and you can be hit out of it. So it's not always the best thing to do, but it is an option. So you can kind of parry your way through the game that way, which I've done that because I'm not good enough to do the actual parrying. The actual parrying is very difficult, the timing in Elden Ring. So I've only ever done the like shield parrying that way. But mostly I still prefer to dodge if I'm given the opportunity to, which is why I always get the turtle talisman immediately so that I can dodge like a motherfucker.
all right. And then, is there any Souls like that you have not played that really has your interest and is making you want to play it at some point?
I know you want me to say Lies of P, but that game actually looks a little too hard for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, like I've watched you play through it, and it seems like the way you have to be successful in that game is not a way that I can play
Hmm.
successfully. I think my play style. Um, However, yeah, the game that I actually am the most interested in is Kazan.
Ah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Was it the first Berserker? Is that what that game's called?
Yep. First Berserker Kazan. Yep.
Yep, that game looks like a lot of fun. Honestly, it looks like hell fun. It looks very like savage. The combat very brutal, which is appealing to me. It looks really cool, and it looks like you can get away with some bullshit. Also, there's like different weapon styles and stuff, which I know there's also different weapon styles in Lies of P, but it seems like there's some drastic weapon choices in First Berserker there, which looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. For anybody who may be interested in these types of games and hasn't tried anything yet, is there one that you would recommend to try out as a beginner?
Still Elden Ring, only because it has the most accessible features into it with the summoning abilities and being able to summon in other players easier than other games as well for help. I know like I think it's the Draconic Tree Sentinel. There is a Tree Sentinel Knight that blocks. You have to beat him to get into Lindell, the Golden City, which is like the crux of the biscuit. That's like the you want to get there for the game. It's like you're looking at it the whole freaking game. It's the big city under the tree. So you want to get in there, and there's this asshole on a horse, and he will not let you in. He's so difficult. He's ridiculously hard for no reason. And yeah, for my first like two playthroughs, I had to summon people in for this guy. And just being able to do that makes the game a lot more accessible than like Dark Souls 1, where I remember wanting to summon people in and trying to and struggling for like 30 to 40 minutes trying to get one person in. And I finally get somebody in and they die immediately and I pull my hair out. So it was much easier in Elden Ring. So I think yeah, it's probably the best place to start. Also, it has all the features of all the other Dark Souls games, like like Dark Souls 2 added dual wielding, Dark Souls 3 added like a little run jump hop thing. Elden Ring has all that, plus an additional jump and stuff. So it's like the evolution of all the mechanics
Nice.
together. And I'll also just say that Elden Ring is probably the best one to start with because you can farm a little bit. If you know what you're doing, or you have a friend like me, I'll tell you where to farm, and you can overlevel yourself. You can overlevel your problems in Elden Ring, which technically you can do in Dark Souls, but it is much more difficult and daunting to do in Dark Souls. Like if you want to grind in Dark Souls 3, for example, like good luck. I hope you have 15 hours to grind because you're not getting that many souls from these enemies. But in Elden Ring, you can really there's a lot of enemies. Even if you're not farming, you can just like go to different places and kill enough enemies to over level yourself so that the boss isn't as bad, which I think makes the game easier.
Hmm. Yeah. I'd like to give a shout out to the Jedi Fallen Order games. I think while they're not fully Souls like, they do have a
Hmm.
lot of Souls elements. And I think for maybe someone a little more timid to that, obviously the IP draw, but I think maybe that would be a good step too. Of like, do you at least like the harder combat and difficulty? If so, then yeah, maybe Elden Ring's the next step from there to be fully invested.
True, maybe Elden Ring's a little daunting to jump into.
Yeah.
Especially because they have that one, I think it's just the Tree Sentinel, just not Tree Sentinel, but the wherever that knight is that's
Yeah.
right outside the Church of Ella. And it's like if you don't understand that Elden Ring is trying to teach you to avoid that, you're just gonna have a bad time.
Sure. Very cool. Well, thank you, TJ. Just wanted to poke your brain about Dark Souls, and hopefully everybody learned a thing or two about the franchise, as well as yourself and your love for these titles. From here, we're going to be moving into our final topic. Sadly, we're going to be moving over to what you're looking forward to playing next. TJ, what is your future title that you're looking forward to?
Well, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by the new feature in Steam where it actually gives you a calendar
Oh,
and
mm-hmm.
will give you specific games that it thinks you will like. It gives you two games that it thinks you will like that release on that day. And then if you want, you can click and it'll give you a list of all the games that release on that day. but it highlights two of them. And one of the games that I highlighted that I actually didn't know was coming out this soon, and that's because it's coming out in early access, and that is 1666 Amsterdam. Comes out actually August 25th in early access. So every 333 years, something stirs. 1666 Amsterdam is a third-person dark story-led action-adventure where Noah the Collector wields witchcraft to uncover demonic entities hiding behind human faces. Investigate by day, face your demons at night. So that looks like a lot of fun. I'm very excited to give this game a try. It came out. What was the Game Fest that it came out on? It was like
Summer Game
was it Summer's
Fest.
Game Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah. So ever since they showed it off at Summer's Game Fest, I've been very excited for it.
Good. Yeah, I was looking forward to that one too. There's been some director talks that I'm not too steezed about, but I'll leave that to everybody's research if they want to look into it.
It's AI, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
it's always AI.
Yeah, they used it early on, but nothing's going to be in the final product, I think. But he was just like, yeah, everybody's going to be using it. So, yeah, personally, that turned me off. But, I mean, it looks very, very cool. So, each their own. Don't need to yuck anybody's yum.
It is out in 12 days, so we don't have that long to see if it stands on its own merit.
Sure. All right, so from time-traveling witchcraft, we have a train. That's right. I'm talking about Denshattack. This game just came out recently. Flip, trick, and grind your train in a fast-paced, off-the-rails ride through a colorful Japanese dystopia. Outmatch rival gangs, wreck a shady megacorp, and take back the tracks with nothing but skill, speed, and style. This came out on the 15th of July. It is developed by Undercoders and published by Fireshine Games and Bolt Ray Games. Once again, this is Denshattack, Denshattack! Exclamation point. Yeah, I've heard some friends talking about this game from both a Steam Next Fest and now that the game is out in full, and it just sounds like it is an insane, crazy time. I've heard a lot of comparisons to Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which is silly to think because you're literally a fucking train. So yeah, it's on my radar, and I might give it a try at some point because I definitely love the Pro Skater games, and obviously this is a very kooky setting. So we'll see. Right now it's on Steam for $20, but I believe it's also on other platforms if interested. But yeah, that is going to wrap up this week's episode of the podcast. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us today, giving it a watch or listen, whether you're hanging out with us on YouTube or Spotify. If you did enjoy what you heard, please make sure you do 3 things. It helps us out a lot. Number 1, like the episode. Number 2, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode when they drop Mondays at 12 noon Eastern. And number 3, share the podcast with somebody you also think would enjoy it. It's an easy way, for podcasts to grow instead of, like TJ mentioned earlier, discoverability. Sometimes that can be hard because there's a lot of stuff out there. So if there's somebody you think would enjoy it and you spread it along, that would be greatly appreciated. And we would really, be happy to have more cool people like you along the ride with us. If there's ever a news story or a game that you want us to talk about and discuss, feel free to put that in the comment section down below as well. We'll read it and discuss it in a future episode. We had a comment recently on Spotify about my Avatar Legends rant, and they had some good points. I gotta try that game out again. So maybe I'll be talking about that next week if I have time. But we appreciate everybody's support. Once again, watching, listening, all that fun stuff. TJ, thanks for hanging out today. And thanks for a good podcast, sir.
Absolutely. I'm not even that mad that I just wasn't playing Tokon for 2 hours. So it was a good time.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, TJ will see you over in Marvel Tokon, and I will see you in the new apartment. Wait, I didn't invite you in. Get out of here. What are you doing? Bye, guys.
Bye.